Now, the chairman, Ikwere Local Government Area, Rivers State, Dr. Samuel Nwanosike, now joins us to speak on the clash by the two parties and the panic it is creating across the state. It's great to have you join us here on Arise News. A very warm welcome. And I'll just get straight into the interview. Dr. Samuel, can you begin by giving us an account of how things transpired according to your own experience? Of course, yesterday we spoke to the APC governorship candidate, that's Tonye, and he gave us his rundown of events. So we'd like to know from your perspective what happened yesterday.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Like you said, my name is Dr. Nwanosike Samuel, Knight of St. Christopher, Executive Chairman of Ikwere Local Government Council. We give God Almighty all the glory for the opportunity of being in this interview. For us, as far as we are concerned, anybody can wake up and paint stories that suits them. A man is aware that we have the right to peaceful protest. As a political party, we decided to come out very early in the morning of yesterday. We took our protest to the INEC, and we had a wonderful time with INEC. And our demand was just simple, just one demand. All political parties should do a joint inspection at the same time. We don't want to do a separate inspection of electoral materials. We have written to INEC, our letters were acknowledged by INEC, and INEC is left for them to call all political parties like we did during the election and during collation of results. All political parties and their agents were present so that there is no suspicion, because these people have a pattern of play. In 2016, the same APC, led by Rotimi is aware that we won them in the election of 2015, clean and square. What did they do? They went to the tribunal and annulled all our House of Assembly seats and almost all the House of Representative seats because they had a contact at the Court of Appeal, and they know that the tribunal would be exalted at the Court of Appeal. That's the same pattern they are trying to establish now. The truth of the matter is that they are trying to cook up results. And that's why when they tell people their own side of the story, we laugh. Somebody is calling himself a pastor. He said he's Pastor Tonye. But anything that comes out from his mouth is a bunch of lies and deceit. And he's tarnishing the image of genuine men of God. It's somebody who is desperate to hold on to political office, somebody who is currently being tried by Rivers State government and by the judiciary for $50 million he stole from the Rivers State government. That person is the person calling himself
Dr. Samuel, please
as we speak, this man came in a clear, peaceful protest.
Dr. Samuel, before you continue,
ordered his policemen to open fire on innocent protesters, women.
Dr. Sam, respectfully, please
yes.
just narrate to us what happened yesterday, as opposed to any allegations about anyone. Please.
That's where I'm coming to.
All right.
We were at the protest from 6 a.m. in the morning up to about 11:30. We kept dancing and singing. We went to INEC. We were dressed and we spoke, and we said we're not going to leave until INEC does the right thing. What is the right thing? We're asking for a joint inspection of all electoral materials and everything used for the election. If you are accusing that you are rigging the 23 local government of Rivers State, because I've never seen that kind of issue, where somebody will allow himself to be rigged in his own polling unit. Tonye Code failed in his polling unit, in his own polling unit as a governorship candidate. He failed in his ward. And he's telling the world that he was rigged. And we're saying, okay, no problem. You said you have written to INEC. You want inspection of materials. We have written to INEC. INEC has approved our letters. And we are saying, please, come, let us inspect the material jointly. Labour Party, PDP, APC, ABGA, everybody participated in the election. Come. Because of the experience we've had in the past. In 2019, and a police officer, in connivance with APC, led by Rotimi and Tonye, even when they were not in the ballot, they were supporting an AAC candidate called Awara. They came to the tribunal with concocted results
Okay, Dr.
The
Samuel
police officer, when
Nwanosike.
accosted by the tribunal, abandoned the result and ran away. Ma,
Yes.
as I'm talking to you, remember the incident of Imo State? That somebody who came forth in an election, because they concocted the results and tribunal accepted that result, they have declared somebody who came forth as a governor. For us in River State, we have decided to be vigilantes. Our eyes are wide open. We will stay awake to make sure that this result and this victory given by the people of River State is properly protected. No amount of blackmail will deter us. Even the shooting of our colleague by the soldiers and the policemen attached to Tonye will not deter us.
Dr. Sam, thank
People
you.
have died, people are in the hospital, but we are still out here this morning and we are making sure that INEC will do the right thing. We are saying the experience of the past have taught us that no amount of the receipts will allow us to keep quiet.
Noted.
We will make sure that if there's going to be an inspection of electoral materials, it may be gently done by all parties.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. Now, how feasible is the joint inspection, seeing the obvious tension that is happening between or amongst the parties in question? But if we go by, your account or even what was narrated to us by Mr. Tonye yesterday, it is obvious there's a lot of tension. So might it not be more feasible for you to have every party to get their own certified true copies, since they are in fact copies, and then whatever grievances they have can be escalated? Because it looks as though a joint inspection might not be feasible, as that might actually escalate things.
Ma, we are accusing INEC. We are accusing security agents. And you're telling us to allow them go and do a separate inspection of materials. What is the guarantee that we're going to have that when they go to that inspection, they will not bring in the cooked up result sheets, which they were arrested by the police 4 days ago at Bayview Hotel, with some senior advocates of Nigeria in their presence, with security agents attached to them, where they were cooking up result sheets that has no tallying with what happened in the 18th of
Dr.
March.
Samuel Nwanosike, that is noted. Now, I'd like to clarify something. Yesterday, Tonye Cole said that he arrived at the scene with his delegation, and that's how violence ensued. Who provoked who? Why did violence begin? Was it the PDP supporters who you were a part of, who were blocking the entrance to INEC? Or was it Tonye Cole and his delegation who were trying to access INEC? Who started the violence that we saw yesterday?
Tonye Cole started the violence. What was the issue? Our people were at GRA Junction, were at Polo Club, were at Waterlines, were at Orobinezimbu. These are the outlets and the entrance to the premises of INEC. We were there and we made our position to be known by the people of Rivers State and INEC, and Rivers people inconvenienced themselves to understand with us. There was no movement of traffic. We stood there from 6 a.m. till about past almost 11 to 12 when Tonye Cole himself, with 2 trucks of military men, 2 trucks of policemen, his party chairman, and his woman, they're just 3 persons, leading security agents, trying to break through the protesters. What happened? The state woman leader of our party, a mother and a grandmother, was asking, do you want to run me over with this vehicle? And Tonye Cole came down from the vehicle, walked up to the woman, and slapped a married woman. Ma, if you slap my mother, whether we're doing policies or the order, I will not allow you go unpunished. This woman is a grandmother with grandchildren. The state PDP woman leader stood her ground against Tonye Cole. And I'm happy that Tonye Cole granted an interview to say it was the woman leader and him that had the altercation that created the violence. Instead of the police and the military attached to Tonye Cole to see how they can bring peaceful dissolution of that matter, they resulted into shooting. Because as far as Tonye Cole was concerned, APC is in charge of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that he's already governor-elect, and that he has the right to issue orders that people to be shot. As I'm speaking to you, Let your camera people follow us to military hospital so that you take live interview of people who have gunshot injury, shot by Tonye's orders attached to him.
Dr.
In his
Sam?
own order. And that's why we're asking the Commissioner of Police. Tonye does not have an immunity, and he has no right to walk in the streets when he has commanded his people to take the life of Rivers people, except he wants us to take the laws in our hand, and which we are doing everything humanly possible to hold ourselves back, because no one man has a monopoly of violence.
Dr. Sam, well, thank you for your narration of events, according to what you observed. But this is also when it comes to the certified true copies, we know that there's a time limit regarding your access to them and what you're going to do with them. So what do you deem the way forward? Since I mentioned again, it looks as though joint inspection might not be feasible. What would be your next move in your own party's interest?
First of all, we need to educate our people properly. Nobody can say that joint inspection is not feasible. Why would joint inspection not be feasible? When we had party agents who were together, who collected the results from the unit level to the coalition level at the ward, and to the coalition level at the AGA, and to the coalition level at the state. We're all brothers. Tonye is a Rivers man. Even if he did not spend majority of his lifetime in Rivers State, he grew up in Brazil and he became a businessman before he was introduced by somebody who wants to hold down the economy of Rivers State in his own personal gain. As far as you're concerned, INEC should declare a day for all parties to come. Tonye is a candidate. He has no reason to be there, except he's saying that he has no confidence in his lawyers, he has no confidence in his agents, and he has no confidence for his legal advisor of his party. Except he's saying so. But for us as PDP, our candidate has no business to come around, because we have our party chairman, we have our legal advisor, we have agents of our party, and we are saying, IPAC has also released a statement. Joint inspection is what we want. Every political party wants to work together so that the suspicion will end. Because if PDP goes to inspect that material on their own, APC will accuse us of doctoring the results. If APC goes to inspect it on their own, PDP will keep insisting that APC want to repeat 2019 and 2016. We are saying, to avoid all these shenanigans, let all of us come together as parties, including INEC National and INEC State or Zonal, to watch the inspection of material, and everybody issues certified true copy. We have paid, APC have paid, but INEC needs to release the materials. So what we are saying is that release these materials before all of us. Do this inspection before all of us. Anyone that is coming to equity should come with a clean hand. Why are they afraid? If Tonye is saying that he was robbed, we are saying no problem. Let's go and inspect these materials.
Okay. Dr. Samuel, I'd just like to go back to the events of yesterday. I'd like to go back to the events of yesterday just for the sake of clarity, as we did have a reporter on the ground, and there are other eyewitness accounts that say that when Tonye disembarked from his vehicle, he's the one who was actually attacked first by the crowd, the PDP supporters who were there, who started throwing objects at him, including sachets of water. So I'd like to clarify the series of events according to your experience, because the other parties are saying that in fact Tonye came out of his car and he was attacked, and he had various objects thrown at him. So I'd like to clarify that.
Those people who are making those statements, they are either we are not there or didn't know what happened. I am challenging Tonye as a man of God, and I'm happy he granted an interview to say the problem ensued when he had an altercation with the state woman leader. The state woman leader of PDP, her name is Mrs. Miriam Obonda. She's a grandmother. She's saying that Tonye's vehicle wanted to run her over. And she stood in front of the vehicle and said, no, you met us here, thousands of us. How would you want to run everybody over? You have to calm down. What is the issue? We are already protesting here. You know we are here. You know we've been here since 6 a.m. And Tonye resorted to slapping the woman. Because as far as she is concerned, he is a bourgeois, He has Sahara Energy Oil. He has so much money. He has contact all over his world. His father was former ambassador. Nobody in Rivers State can talk to Toyoko. Toyoko is above board. He's everything as far as he's concerned. That's why he slapped the woman. And so when he slapped the woman, other women heard him. And they started throwing pure water on him.
Dr. Sam,
and our happiness is that the savior we had, madam, let me say this, is that we, the men who were partaking in that protest, who were at Waterline roundabout. Because if we were at Jerry Junction and Toyoko slapped our grandmother, this story we are saying now wouldn't have been the same.
Dr. Sam,
I can tell you it wouldn't have been the same. That's the truth.
Dr. Sam, I have to ask you at this point. We had a reporter on ground, Andy Omano, before we even had Tonye Cole, and their stories seemed to be in sync. So, I'm just wondering, the time, maybe it's a different timeline of events, but are you discrediting our own reporter as well, saying he was probably not there when
your reporter is my friend. Hold on, man. Let me tell you. I challenge your reporter to come on national television.
He was on national television yesterday.
Yes, hold on, man. Your reporter was there. Your reporter spoke to me when I was addressing you before I went to Waterline Junction, and your reporter followed us to Waterline Junction. Your reporter followed us to Waterline. Your reporter was not there. Your reporter was with me at Waterline Junction, wanted to address people at Waterline Junction when the call came that Toyoko was already beating up the woman leader of PDP, the state woman leader of PDP. And the party chairman of APC told Toyoko, what you're doing is wrong. This is a grandmother. Because Emeka Bekele, the party chairman of APC, is from Ikure. It's from Emowa. And he knows that it's a taboo to beat a grandmother. A woman of that age, you beat her because she said, your car wants to run me over. What kind of democracy are we practicing? So none of your reporter can say he or she was there. I challenge the reporter to a national debate. Let the reporter come and show us that he was not with me at Waterlines when this issue happened.
Well, Dr. Samuel Nwanosike, we thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your insights and your experiences of yesterday. And we do hope that...
Please, before you go, can I just leave a word, please?
Very briefly, sir. Our time is up.
Please. No, hold on. Let me tell you why. There's an impression in Rivers State that Arise Television works for a particular person. We don't want to believe in that. That's why I'm doing this interview. I believe that every platform has an opportunity for Nigeria to express their view. But let me say this. No one man has the monopoly of violence. Toyoko should know that Rivers State people have been existing before he came back from Brazil. Who have our do's and don'ts. Who have respect for the elderly. Toyoko owes a national apology to the state woman leader of PDP. And Toyoko owes police to explain how he ordered his security agents to take the life of a PDP member and to hospitalize other PDP member via the shooting they did yesterday.
And on that note, Chairman Ikwerre Local Government Area, Rivers State, Dr. Samuel Nwanosike, thank you so much for your time. We certainly wish you well. Thank you for joining us.